Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome back. We are in a new week and a new episode. I am so excited. Morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, the devil tried to. Tried to do his big one. But we are here nonetheless, as you all see. Welcome in. All right. Got action, y'all. We got action. We got action. I'm so excited to be back in the ladies' lounge. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday before Christmas. That is crazy. I cannot believe that. Next week we will be saying Merry Christmas. The week after that, we're gonna be saying Happy New Year. Where has the time? Where has it gone? I don't know. When y'all find out, let me know. But welcome, welcome, welcome in. We are back in a new week in the ladies' lounge, y'all. Excuse my tardiness. Things just kind of happen with technology. We got to love being in this digital age. However, nonetheless, we are here. Welcome in. I am so excited to be back in my favorite place in the ladies' lounge. And I have a guest with me today, you all. I am so, so excited. Before we jump in, because I know you all want to know who this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lady sitting in front of me and in front of you all. But we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in just a moment. I want to welcome you all into the Ladies Lounge podcast where we empower, inspire, and celebrate women and men on their unique journey. Today's episode is one that speaks to transformation. Again, that word resilience, because we love that here in the Ladies Lounge, and also purpose. We're going to dive into a topic that many face, but few discuss openly. Tonight's topic, we're going to talk about starting over after, during a divorce, right? It's about rebuilding. That's what it's all about. And I love that part of rebuilding. I've gone through it just myself on a personal journey. Um, it's also about rediscovering yourself, embracing your truth, because we all got to be our authentic self, and moving forward with intention. This is so important, and I am so excited. So, joining us is the incredible Coach Tiff. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am so excited to have you here. Together, we're going to explore what it means to start over on purpose, to break free from limiting beliefs, and create a future that aligns with our passion and potential. I love this. So whether you've been through it yourself, or supporting someone you love, this conversation is packed with insight, encouragement, and actionable advice. So grab your drinks, y'all, and get comfortable. You already know what time it is. Put your earbuds in. You know you don't want to share too much with people around you because we're gonna drop some nuggets and knowledge tonight. Um, Welcome, Coach Tiff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for accepting the invite. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
And, and y'all, if you don't know, I have had the opportunity to meet Coach Tiff, as we say in the TikTok street. So as I've told you all, you definitely can connect with me, Ladies Lounge Podcast, and on the TikTok. However, this is just to go to show you that when you make meaningful connections, people show up when they see what you're doing and believe and inspire and want to. And they're passionate about getting the story out and having these conversations to help grow, inspire, and motivate. Like this is just living proof. So there's I mean, what more can I just say to y'all here? We all about action, right? In the ladies' lounge. But I'm gonna turn this over to Coach because we want to know all about her. However, we gotta talk about some house rules, everyone. We just ask that you be respectful, ask questions, engage actively, and most importantly, have fun. If you're not able to catch this live, don't you worry. Of course, you're gonna go back and watch the rebroadcast, but make sure you leave the questions, the comments, you know, just drop them in the comments because that's what we need to see. We need to have these conversations. So I'm done talking, y'all, because I talk y'all ear off. However, we want to hear about who is Coach Tiff. Talk to us.
Hey, everybody. I am Coach Tiff, your favorite selfish bae, and on the Instagram streets, I am just the selfish coach. And for me, uh, starting over on purpose is a choice. It starts out with being a choice. You have to choose that, and in choosing that, there is a bunch of things that come along with the choosing. You have to be able to um, relearn who you are, relearn a lot of things. You have to relearn the things you actually like, not so much the things that you don't, because we can name a million things that we don't like. And in those million things, there might be a few that you just don't know if you do or don't really like it. You just saying it because that's what you've been saying or that's what you've been told.
Right.
I've been told that I've been allergic to penicillin, but I can't prove it.
Wow.
I can't prove it. I just say it because that's what's been told to me all my life. That's just an example of something so simple that could have been told because they just say everybody's allergic to it in my house because I'm allergic or something. But you have to really relearn and rediscover who you are in a decision that you're going to make to start over on purpose. Because when you're doing things on purpose, it has intention behind it, and the intention is very important. So we can start there. And for me, with my own journey, um, in my own journey of starting over, it was definitely on purpose. I I'm not quite divorced.
Mhm.
I wish it would hurry up and happen, but I'm not quite divorced. But my relationship was over since 2019.
Okay.
So the decision was already made in 2019 for me,
Mhm.
and it took me um 2 more years before I moved out of my own apartment. But that's because what? 2020 happened. Everybody was locked down. And I was like, how we gonna do this? Because we gonna have a problem in here.
Right.
But we didn't have a problem because there was nowhere to go.
Mhm.
And so he was happy with us being home and
Mhm.
we didn't have nowhere to go. We couldn't go anywhere. We did
Right.
everything was shut down. So as soon as the outside opened, I left.
Right. That's my cue.
Yeah, it actually was just very perfect for me to just to start all over. Um, in 2021, I just left. I had people come pack my house the same day.
Wow.
Yeah, I had told
Wow.
them to come that day. They packed everything for me. I didn't pack anything, and I just met them at the new crib, and that was it.
Talked about an exit. We ain't have to do none of the extra stuff.
I mean,
Look, I'm a lady at the end.
at the end of the day, you have to make a plan, and the part of also doing things on purpose is actually following through following through with on purpose, because a lot of people make plans and they want to do things and then the follow through falls through.
Ooh,
So
that
you
was some bars right there. The follow through, fall through.
yeah, and then you wind up in another cycle of the same thing, and then you trying to go back to being on purpose, and then you have to push through. That's where that resilience come in that you was talking about earlier.
Right.
Have to have the resilience to get through what you got to get through to make it to the other side, because the other
Right.
side is peaceful.
Mm, it is.
The
It
other
is.
side of that boundary that you're trying to make with these people is, to me, successful.
Hello.
I
Hello.
call that accomplished. Okay. That's how it
Right.
is for me. When I set a boundary and people don't cross it, or if they try to cross it and I say something else to them, it's still an accomplishment. It is still successful because they're trying to relearn how to approach you. They're trying to relearn how to even share space with you, because a lot of mistakes that people make is about the having a boundary when you're trying to do things on purpose, is that it's about other people when it's really about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
and,
Absolutely.
and how people can treat you. Now, I can go down rabbit holes, so if you have questions, hit
Now,
me.
see, when you talk about starting over on purpose with a purpose, like you said, it hits differently. So it's almost like you're rebranding yourself. And I slowed down a little because I see I'm lagging a little. However, for me, when I went through when I went through my journey, and like you said, when you come out on that other side and you understand the peace that's over there, you are so protective of that. That's where your boundaries come in place. Well, this is for me of what I learned because I never had boundaries in place before. And my boundaries are so concrete, it ain't even funny, you know. And you don't have to when you're at peace and when you know yourself and you love it over here on this side of the train track, you don't have to come off like, like just negative and this is my boundary and just so rah with it. Like respectfully, no. It's a complete sentence. No. But why you don't want to do it? No, I don't want to. No, it's no love lost. I don't no,
Yeah,
you can't change my energy. Or you don't have access to me like that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. And that's the beauty of it when you said it's peaceful over
it is.
there. Locked up and I got goosebumps. Because when you start over, it's such a beautiful thing. Um, when you like I always say, people use that healing journey as a hashtag. And work. When you just keep focused on you or don't allow yourself to go too far. Like we all get sidetracked here and there on whatever it is that we're trying to do. But you just stick to the plan and you see it through. When you see it through, like they always say, it's light at the end of the tunnel. That light is different. I didn't realize that. And I understand, you're talking about you could rebuild yourself from any situation, whether it is going through a divorce, whether it is like for me, learning how to learning how who is Brittany. And I didn't have my son like I used to 24/7. He went and lived with his dad. And so now I had to figure out, well, who am I? What do I like? What don't I like? Why my relationships fail? Why, why? I had to understand my why. And when you understand your why, there ain't nothing nobody can expect. Like you said, I have my movers come at you at the crib.
Right. And you know what? I don't think that you have to be healing from anything to start over on purpose. You could just simply not want to be who you woke up as yesterday.
Ooh,
It could be
ooh,
just
yes,
that simple.
yes,
It
yes.
could be,
I
it could
love
be
that you said that.
it could
Ooh,
be just that simple. So you don't have to be going through no divorce. You don't have to be going through being an empty nester, open nester, however you want to call it.
yes,
You don't have to be transitioning from one thing to another. You could just be ready to be who you truly was from the beginning, and you're ready to show up
absolutely, absolutely,
to to,
absolutely.
to start
Yeah.
something on purpose.
Because when you like you said when you are intentional, you pay attention to your patterns and routines, right? So last night I ain't go to bed. I didn't go to bed like I was supposed to, right? I want to create this healthy routine of going to bed on time. So like you said, you just start small. Okay, my goal tonight is to go to bed early, or tomorrow, whenever. But every day for me, I wake up wanting to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And I'll find things that I could work on. It's not that you're nitpicking, right? It's just you're conscious and being intentional of, okay, Brittany, now you ate McDonald's yesterday when you said that you want to unbig your back. How are we gonna unbig our back, sweet dear? You eating McDonald's. When you say just it, we don't have to set everything on a grand scale. I love that you said that it doesn't have to be after a divorce or, something that's just so traumatic. It could just be you waking up today, not looking at your phone right away and
Yeah,
meditating.
yeah.
No,
Just that simple. It could be just that simple. These days, I'm just trying to be authentically me, and I'm gonna live in the moment that I choose for myself, and
right,
allow other people to be who they are and not judge them by it. Just let them
right,
be who they are, and that's that. I can't change people. I can't change nobody's mind. They have to do them things
right.
themselves. I can only change how I react to certain situations, and when you starting over, you get to pick who you gonna be.
Mm,
You get to pick who you're gonna show up as. You get to pick how you gonna walk this life. And there's two things that are certain. There are two things that are certain: that your time and your energy is invaluable. It is priceless. And
yeah,
those are the two things that in that time you cannot get back. You cannot get that back once you give it away, once you use it up. And energy is interchangeable. So where do you want to focus these things? Where do you want to lay these things out at? Because once it's over, time gone, energy gone. And
right,
once
right.
you're gone, those two things are absolutely gone. And so today I'm just worrying about where am I spending my time, and where and who am I sharing my energy with? Because if you've been in a room where energy has sucked you dry, you've been in a just
Oh, wow.
gone.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
also walked past a room that was jumping with so much good energy. You was like, what the heck is going on? I need to go up in there.
okay,
I need to go in there. And when you go in there, you feel the vibe. It's
yeah,
a vibe that's going
yeah,
on. It's something that's powerful that's going on in there. And those are the places that I want to be in. Those are the places and
right,
spaces that I choose to be in. Like today, being in a part of the ladies' lounge is a place where it's positive over here. It's not a waste of my time over here. It is building a community over here. I want to be a part. Hey, people. Hey, good people. I want to be a
yeah.
part of your community too. I'm gonna
Oh,
be jumping in the lounge and looking at the little
oh,
questions. And if somebody had a question in there, I want to pop over there and say, "Hey, girl. Hey, boy,"
right, right,
you
right,
know, and actually interact with you. Um, so it's not. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's not a waste of time
right, right.
and a waste of my,
Absolutely.
and it's not a waste of your time or your energy being here with us, live or in the rebroadcast.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So when you talk about that, leading with, being intentional and the good vibes and energy, and, thank you for your kind words of the ladies' lounge and just being supportive and even just wanting to be here and have just have conversations and understanding what my true intentions are. Because I could say, like I always tell people, it's not a sales gimmick. I ain't here to sell nobody nothing. I just know that I had to listen to God, and follow through with what I was told to do, which is how we wind up sitting in the ladies' lounge and also going through my journey, and understanding when you go through your healing and growth. Um, it's your words don't you don't have to say too much, right? You just show up, like you said, when the energy is good, and I open the platform to everybody. So you have so it's I've gotten a chance to meet so many beautiful people that it's like, wow, for me, it helps me with my personal growth to understand like, wow, it is some dope people out here for real, that is about their business, that is about having these conversations to inspire, uplift, and motivate, the next person, whether it is in your own generation or somebody who's, coming up, that's younger. These are conversations that we need to have, so people don't see we don't always have it together, right? And it's okay. Like I genuinely love when you said, because I needed to hear that as well. When you was like, you could just start over just because you want to be a better version of yourself. It don't have to be something dramatic. And it is okay to start over, right? And you gotta be true to yourself and be realistic. Now I know I ain't been in no gym since January of 2024. We going in, 25. That's okay. I ain't beating myself up about it because you know what I've learned to do? I always learn to look at, and I guess it's being optimistic. What is it that you did accomplish? So we're not gonna sit on this side of, well, dang, Brittany, you ain't been in the gym yet, girl. What you doing? No, but how about you are out here having meaningful conversations, hoping that I do um, inspire, uplift everybody, and it's not just women; it's men as well. Because I have a son, so I can't just sit here and have these conversations just for women, because my son.
I got three.
See
I
what
got
I
three
mean?
boys.
See what I mean? So these are conversations that we want them to be able to look back on and say, "Wow, here's here's what I need out of this chapter here of this book from Coach Tiff or from myself or whomever you watch." And I just really believe in you. You turn into what you tune into what you turn into. So what you feed your mind, that's essentially what you're going to turn into. And if I could just say it, because we keep it real in the ladies' lounge, I do believe that so many people mimic what they see on social media and on these reality TV shows. No shade to anybody, you like what you like. But I'm just so when you talk about being intentional, I'm mindful of who I watch on social media and on TV. That is so important because words, what the sticks and stones may break my bones, foolishness that we all grew up on, throw it away. Because words do hurt.
Words do hurt. They penetrate and they stay.
Yes, yes. So when we talk about starting over, you gotta fuel yourself sometimes. Sometimes, you don't have somebody right away, but you just even if it's the start of Brittany, I trust you. And then now we're gonna go and work on what it is that we want to work on for the day. But I have to start with I trust self first. Because if I don't trust myself, then none of this work is gonna, like you said, is gonna stick. It ain't gonna stick us in state. So we want to make sure that we're doing the work.
It's gonna slide off like some oil.
They ain't gonna want to be here. It's like,
It's gonna
not this energy. We don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that's a lot. That's one of the other biggest things about starting over and being on purpose about it is you have to be honest.
Mhm.
You gotta let go of that. You gotta open up that closet that has all of those skeletons in there, all the things that you don't like about yourself. Uh,
Right.
I mean, the things that you don't like that you can't change. Like for instance, I was just talking about this today with my therapist because she was saying something, and I was like, no, that don't make sense to me. I push back when people don't when it's not making sense.
No.
And I was like, that's not a good example. I said, because if you are a person who is indecisive and you know that about yourself, you can't give yourself more than two choices, really, three at the max, because then you're going to be indecisive about everything anyway. So if you take away a couple of choices and just have two, a yes or a no, blue or black, or red or white, or whatever, this or that, you
Right.
have a chance at making a decision more than you would if you had four different choices. Because then it's like, oh, but if I pick this one, then this could happen, and if I do this, and then guess what? You're not going to decide anything.
Talk yourself right up out of it.
So if you know that you're an indecisive person, and you want to move on and on purpose, then you have to only give yourself a choice or two to make, and take that and move that, and just bite that and work on that. And then that's a step closer to a goal that you might have, or just living with the reality that you don't make good decisions if you have too many options.
Being truthful with yourself. And I think to piggyback off of that, the best thing I've heard was to pick a side and stay there. And I really didn't know what that meant, right? When I first heard it, I was just like, pick a side and stay there. What does that mean? And I chewed on it a little bit, and I sat with it, and it helped me to understand, like, for me, for Brittany, who, is some things are black and white. Some things you could be great with. What's important to you that you are just gonna stand 10 toes down on, and we not know, not gonna be able to move. Okay, and then what are you gonna be a little bit more lenient on? But either way, you have to choose a side so people know how to handle you. There is no, because like you said, now that we rebranded ourselves, right? You have to teach people now who you are. Who is this person that has blossomed? This caterpillar that has blossomed into this butterfly. Because when you saw me just a couple of months ago, I didn't look like this, right? So I got to help you understand who I am. And so when I've learned to pick a side and stay there, now I can say it to people like, no, I need to see how you move. And I need to see who you are so I know how to deal with you. I know how to show up this person because you picked your side to stay there because I've already chosen my side
Right.
unapologetically. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. And another thing about that too is picking a side and staying there, and just knowing which side you're on, first of all.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you when you choose to do things a new way, the old way ain't gonna work. The old things that you used to subscribe to is not going, is the subscription is expired. You gotta find somewhere else to tune in.
Right.
Because if you was done fighting, why you watching Bad Girl or whatever it's called, that be having that fight as soon as they see each other? If you said
Caddies.
you if you said you you gave up that lifestyle of running up on people and two-piecing them, why you watching baddies? That's
Yes.
only going to bring that adrenaline right back up, and it's going to have you ready to pop off. Like, why would you watch that? Or any other show that would bring you to that place. If you
Right.
give that up, then you fully give it up. There's things that I can't watch anymore just because I just can't stomach it. Like I can't watch like things like Criminal Minds. I used to watch it. That used to be
Yeah.
my jam. I used to
Yeah.
watch that week in and week out. I can't watch it. My mind won't let me, because guess what? What you think, your mind already believes.
Yes. Yes.
And when you playing with the things and you're trying, and manifestation is real, it's not fake, and you build the reality that you want. So when you're doing things on purpose, with a purpose, intentionally, authentically, you have to look at yourself. You have to look at the things that you put in your eyesight, the things that you are listening to, the people that you are around, because that saying is not just a saying. You are going to be the fifth thing that you hang around. If you hang around five bums, you surely going to be a bum soon.
Yeah.
If you hang around five millionaires, there's a chance that you're going to be one as well. That saying is really, it really is true. It really is true. So you have to be mindful of who you spending time with. And again, that goes back to the time and energy, the two things that is the most your most prized possession. It's not money. It's not things. It's not none of those things. It's not the watches, the diamonds, the vacations, it's none of that stuff. It is the time you spend with whomever you're spending it with, and the energy that you're exchanging with whomever you're exchanging it with. Because
Right.
once that time is up, the energy is void and the time is over. So it all circles back to the same thing. You have to know who you are, whose you are, what you doing,
Yeah.
and who you doing it with.
Right. Right.
And whether that's your kids, another a romantic partner, work people, all of those things, it all it's interchangeable who you're gonna be with and who all you're gonna have this authentic life with.
Right.
Um, but what relationships are you building? If you're an only child, like my small one is, she an only child after I had done 5 kids. She an only child now because all her siblings are adults. So
Wow.
it's like she's being raised as an only child for real. I ain't never been no parent or no only child. This is new for me.
Now, what's the age gap?
Aha. So my oldest, he just turned 27.
Hmm.
My oldest daughter, she'll be 26.
Okay.
Um, I have a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old, and then my baby girl, the only child, is 6.
Talk about starting over with a
Start
purpose.
and she was on purpose too. So she was
Wow. Look at that.
intended on me having.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a oops or oopsie daisy or anything like that. She was actually intended on being here, and I was
Yeah.
very intentional in carrying her. Um, and that was a journey all by itself, you
Right.
because I could have lost her. I had a miscarriage, a second trimester miscarriage, which is weird. It's not very common to
Hmm.
have. I would think I was like 17 weeks, and
Okay.
when I got pregnant with her, I had to fight because I was like, she gonna slip right out too
Wow.
if I don't get a cerclage. So
Yeah.
I told the doctor, I told my OBGYN, I was like, I think I need to see a MFM because I think that the same thing is gonna happen. And if it happened at 17 weeks, it's probably gonna happen earlier. And she looked at me like I had 5 heads. I said, I had to, you know,
You know your body. Yeah.
I don't know my body apparently because I had 4 kids before I had a loss.
Mm.
So things
Mm.
change. But I had a hunch. So I said, you know what? And then she wrote it out. She referred me to a MFM.
Okay.
And when I called this lady office, I called the office, and I'm guessing that this person that answered was a temp, somebody that wasn't there all the time, or something, because she was very rude. She was like, "Well, just because you want to see one, don't mean that you're going to always be here." And I'm like, "Are you here to set the appointment, or tell me what's going to happen?" I'm just saying. I said, I think you should just make the appointment. Well, I'm just going to set you up with this person. I can't remember the doctor name. So sorry. So sorry, y'all. I cannot remember this doctor name. However, she winds up being the head of the department and the head of the gestational diabetes department for
Mhm.
labor and delivery.
Wow.
So you didn't just give me any old body, you gave me the body. Hello?
HNIC. Hello.
I forgot we ain't on TikTok, so I can
Right.
say I can talk.
Look, I had to blink twice. Like, hold on, let me remember.
Right. I've got to remember that I'm not on TikTok streets. So yes, she gave me the head one. And so when I seen her though, I still had to fight. I still had to tell because she was like, "You had 4 other pregnancies." I said, "No, it was 5. I had a miscarriage at 17 weeks. That second trimester." And she was like, "Okay." And I'm just like, listen, y'all have the little machine in the back. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
look. So she looked and she said it wasn't that bad, blah blah blah. Following week, we went the following week. We had to go every week. She said, I'm gonna see you again. So this time I'm like, look, at this time I think I was week 12 or week 13. I said, look, if you don't, I said, let's go look. I'm telling you something is gonna happen, and you're acting like I'm crazy. So, the husband was like trying to tell me to calm down and all of this. And I'm like,
I almost
yeah,
fell out my chair. I had the what?
shout out to Trina. That's her line. Um, but I had to make this lady go in. And guess what? When she went in and she looked, because they had to use the internal sonogram thing, I was 4 centimeters. She told me do not pass go, do not collect $200. Don't get that pizza that I wanted to get. Go directly to the hospital. She'll meet me there at 5 o'clock.
Wow.
So at 5 o'clock, when she got there, she did the cyclage. I had to have them put me to sleep because she was talking to the other people. It's a learning hospital, so they're going to be talking and stuff. But she said if I'd have went home, I'd have lost the baby if I'd have went home.
Wow.
So said all of that to say that if you know yourself, you are your best advocate, and you have to make people do things that you want them to do sometimes. And sometimes you can't move until they do it. And it's okay. It's okay to fire the people that are telling you that you don't need to. It's okay to fire a doctor. It's okay to tell the nurse I don't want you no more. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay to do that. When I had lost my other baby, they had to go in and pull and scrape, right? And it was hurting. And I was like, look, I gave the doctor permission, and then I took the permission back.
Right.
I took the permission back. I told her, she was like, well, if we don't, then you'll die. I said, guess what? Then I guess I'll take my last breath here because you ain't going not near another further. So either take me to the little surgery and scrape it when I'm asleep, or I'm gonna get dead right here. And she looked at me like I had 5 heads.
I'm sure.
And I was like, okay, so what y'all gonna do? You have to be able to say what you don't have to accept what people are telling you. I don't care if they're a doctor. I don't care who they are. You ain't gonna tell me because I'm gonna tell you. Then that's gonna be it.
Right.
I hear my father crying in the background because that's how he lost his mom. He lost his mom and during childbirth. She
Wow.
had twins. My Aunt Lucy survived, but my uncle died. And that was the worst day of his life. So he was reliving that when I was in a room howling like a daggone like a wolf, because that thing was hurting. And then when I finally told them, yo, and I think he heard that part, and I was like, you won't go in again. So when you are moving on purpose, you have to you have to really stay down on that thing.
Yes.
Because if I let that doctor, if I let that girl agitate me to where I say forget it, because some people just say forget it then. I mean, I'll call back, or I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go through this.
Yeah.
If that they're put there to try to stop you, but you have to keep going. You have to push past these limits that they're trying to limit you on. And if I
Yeah.
didn't
Trust
push,
yourself.
yeah, if I didn't push past that girl, I'd have lost my baby. If I didn't push past that doctor, even though she looked and said everything is fine, but we're gonna keep a close eye on you. If I didn't make her keep a close eye,
Who knows?
who knows what it would? I know what would have happened. She'd have slipped right out. She'd have slipped right out. And same way that if I would have let that lady probably keep going, keep putting her own arm up inside there,
Right.
trying to yank out the
Right.
placenta that was stuck. I may have not. I may have passed away anyway.
Right.
allowing her to continue.
Right.
You
Right.
know, we just don't know. But what I do know is when you are intentional about yourself, you're
Mhm.
not going to allow people to do any old thing to you. I think that's the point.
Right.
You don't allow people to just do any old thing to you. You don't allow life to just happen to you. You make life happen.
Ooh, come on now. You don't allow life to happen.
Yeah, you
Ooh,
make like happen. You make life happen.
ooh. We need that on a shirt. We need that on a shirt. Like that is I just really hope that this resonate with somebody and they just sit with that and chew on it for a little bit because that statement is so powerful. So powerful.
Yep.
So powerful. Those that get it. And if you don't, you will
When you're ready.
when you're
Only,
ready. Yes.
only when you're ready. When you're ready to hear things like that, because a lot of people don't like to have hard conversations. I happen to be a lover of hard conversations. Why? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I like having hard conversations because they're hard. And you get to choose how you show up for this hard conversation.
Yeah. 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 I always say I'm not running anymore because I was one who didn't. I used to view hard conversations as being confrontational, and I wasn't. Um, I'm not. I'm not a confrontational person, but I don't look at hard conversations anymore as being confrontational. Like you said, it. You have to have those hard conversations, especially when you have relationships with people, whatever that relationship is, if it's intimate, if it's the parent child relationship, even
Hmm.
at work. I stand 10 toes down on who I am and respectfully, right? You don't have to. I ain't out here just popping off on people. Let me not say that. However, we do switch gears when time is needed.
Hello.
Don't get that, you know. But I have learned, I'm a lady, and you just don't act out unnecessarily. But having those hard conversations, like you said, I love it. I don't run from it anymore because it's a lot that I learned about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like this is personal for me. Like having those hard conversations, I don't go in there and beat myself up anymore like I used to and just run from it and just like, oh my God, I did something this horrible or this person is upset with me because I ain't like people being upset with me. I don't give a damn now if you are upset. Like meaning, I mean, I care enough to have that conversation, but I don't care, meaning like I'm not finna put all that negative energy on me. We ain't doing that.
Right. Because their opinion and what happens after it is none of our business. It doesn't really have to be our business to know. I'm just like my ex, whatever I'm doing with my box is no longer your concern. Anybody else that's around,
Hello?
whatever I'm doing with my life is none of your concern
Hello?
because you're not here providing for my life. And that goes for mother, father, sister, brother,
Yes.
cousin, friend, kids. Y'all don't pay a dang on thing here. So you can't
There's
tell me,
an emphasis on the kids now.
yeah, y'all can't tell me what to do. Y'all can't tell me that thing they told me I couldn't be on that, I shouldn't be on tickety top. And I'm on there with friends.
Okay. Look, hello.
Hey Britt.
Come on now. Come on over here. Look at
Right.
us.
There's things that people don't do when you are starting over on purpose. You are letting go of everything that other people are holding over you.
Come on.
Okay? Those things no longer matter because weigh they don't weigh in on any decision that you're making. That those people, it doesn't matter who they are, unless they're a partner of yours that you are actually being in partnership with, then there's a discussion to be had, but there is still your decision because you have autonomy. You should have autonomy in any relationship that you have. They don't have control over you, because once somebody has control over you, then
It's a wrap at that point.
you back to letting things happen to you. You better than let you back at letting life just happen to you instead of living life
Because then this is where the words
or
come in.
making life
I
happen.
lost myself in this relationship. Let me tell you something. When I say I made a promise to myself that I would never, ever say those words ever again. Lost myself in what? No. Only thing I want to lose myself in is this piece over here. I want to lose myself in this ladies' lounge, having these dope behind conversations, meeting great people like yourself. I want to, be out here in the community. I want to get lost in the community and building up, networks and things of that nature. But lose Brittany? No, we're not.
Mm-mm,
I
mm-mm.
love I love me too much for that. I love me more than I love anybody else, first and foremost. You know what I mean? So that is just
Well,
oh,
I'm your favorite selfish bae. I know about that. I
I love
love
that.
me.
I love that name. Oh,
I love me. And some people just take it the wrong way, and that's okay. You get to know me, and maybe you won't.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I believe in being selfish, because if I'm not selfish with taking care of me, how can I take care of the other kids that I have? How can I take care of this household? How can I run this business?
Right.
How could I be on the TikTok streets? How could I be sitting here on the lounge? How can I sit here in the ladies' lounge if I'm not taking care of me?
And I want to say this too, because when we talk about being selfish, right? And everything when you talk about these setting boundaries and loving yourself, it doesn't mean and I know y'all see keep wiping my allergies is kicking my butt tonight too, y'all. But I just want to put this out there as a disclaimer. It doesn't mean that you have to be negative Nancy when you're doing it, right? When you're talking about being selfish, I'm very selfish of my time. I'm very selfish of my energy. I give it to the right when the energy is good, when I'm being poured into as well, as I could pour into you, or we're having meaningful conversations of substance. Oh, we're vibing respectfully. But if I'm not feeling you respectfully, I don't have the time right now. You wonder why I'm not answering my phone right now. I don't have the time. I could be doing nothing. Doesn't mean that you have to be. Oh, I'm outside. I got a doctor's appointment. No, this is my time. This is just Brittany's time to just be quiet, and you don't have to make that other person feel it in a negative way. I could respond to a text. Hey, hey, I give you a call back. You don't owe anybody a reason why you're doing what you're doing, but just be respectful with it. You don't have to be. It's gonna flow. It's not when you started over and rebranded yourself, you're starting over differently. Like we talked about now throughout this episode, you're starting over differently, so it's gonna flow. But some people that starting over and they take your words like, oh, when you say you're gonna be selfish, ouch, I ain't got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to do all that. You could be cutesy with it, very demure, very
Yeah.
much my ground.
I just don't think that they take it the wrong way when you say selfish and you think about being greedy. It's not about being greedy. It's not about
Yes,
being negative in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's about being helpful to yourself, pouring into yourself, filling yourself up, filling your tank up, making sure you get sleep, make sure you exercise,
right,
make sure you
right,
do the things
right.
that you need to do for you. Because when you don't, and you don't pay attention to your self-awareness, if you don't have self-awareness, you better get some, better learn. Because when your body tells you something and you're not paying attention, eventually
Yeah,
you gonna get sat down. And some people get sat down for a little while, and some get sat down permanently.
right,
And
right.
so it's about being able to be self-aware, selfish, self-awareness, and all of those things. They run together. They run it in uh how you say it, simultaneously
Right.
at the same time, because it without self-awareness you cannot be on purpose, you cannot be intentional, because you have to know you, and you have to know what it is you need.
Right.
So if you need sleep and you trying to kick it for day in and day out for the next 12 days that the kids is out of school, and maybe you off work because you a teacher and you think um you're going to hang for the 12
Right.
days and think that you're going to be all right, something going to holler at you and say, hello.
Real.
Or if you're a party person, or if you, even if you're not, if you thought you were going to be up doing whatever, or you're going to overwork yourself and work, or rip and run, or whatever it is, it catches up to you.
Right.
It all catches up. And a part of being selfish is paying attention to that and taking care of that issue before it becomes a problem. Because once it becomes a problem,
Whew.
might not be able to handle.
You got another beast right there. Once it become that problem.
Yeah, you might not be able to get it out. You may not even be able to reverse the problem. Some things go past, and it's non-reversible.
Right.
Some
Right.
things some things become such a problem that you can't change it. You can't reverse it. You can't go back. All you have to do is live from right then. And that's a
Right.
whole nother start over with
Right.
a whole different purpose that you wasn't intending for.
Now I have a question because you mentioned this.
Sure.
Um, you said that you talk to your therapist. So I
Hmm.
have a question. What role um does or can therapy or coaching play in starting over?
Okay, so I think it depends on your needs in the first place. Because some of us do not need for us to go all the way back to wounds and all of this stuff with therapy, with where you would go in therapy, and you would go try to figure out why you are the way you are and all this stuff. But I think that therapy is a good thing for people who need it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think everybody does. Um, I think that is a great place for you to have a conversation if you are a person who can't have, who don't like to have confrontational conversations, or are trying to learn how to figure out how to deal with something or somebody. That is a good person to talk to, because they are non-biased. They
That's
don't have a dog in the fight, and they're not going to get on the hotline to tell your business. Some people need that outlet where it's just, I need to talk to somebody because I don't want to pick up the phone and call mama, sister, cousin, friend, but I
right.
really need to talk.
Right.
People who are lonely need to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
find somebody to talk to. And if you want to, and coaches are good too, because they've been where you are, and they are where you want to be. And so
Okay.
if it's not, if you are not too wounded, because some people, some things are above a coach's pay grade. Like they just should not be coaching you if you feel, if they see something that you need more help with.
Right.
So it just depends on the person, but I think that everybody needs to talk to somebody. um I've been in therapy since I was 17 years old, and I did that because I was in a with a group of people, adults. I had dropped out of high school.
Okay.
I dropped out of high school and dropped into a GED program. And in that program, I was the youngest person there. I was the youngest person there. And I had friends that were there that were in their 40s and 50s. And the youngest one that I knew of the group of people that I hung out with, she was 25. So
Okay.
she was the closest thing to my age. But what we did was we talked about a lot of things. And they used to question me about a lot of things. And I used to be like, and they used to ask for my advice. And I used to be like, y'all want to y'all want to know what I think.
Right, right.
And um and so one of the ladies was asking me, she was like, well, do you talk to anybody about your problems? And I was like, no. She was like, well, maybe you should try, talking to a therapist. That might help you. That might work. I was like, I know she was saying that, we use you as our little therapist, but
Right.
you can talk to someone too.
Where's your outlet?
Yeah. And there was another black woman who said that to me. Um, and she goes to therapy. She was going to therapy herself. And that's how I got introduced to being in therapy, to talk about the at home trauma, or the friend drama, and the things.
Right.
That was before I had a baby daddy. And even when I had a baby daddy, I wound up continuing. I
Right.
stopped for a while, and then my son turned me right back around to going in to therapy, because one day my kids were laughing.
Mhm.
They were playing. They were playing, and they were laughing, and that laughing was pissing me off.
Mhm.
That laughing made me upset. And he said, Ma, but we're just laughing. What's wrong with laughing? And
Mm.
I had to sit back and say, oh snap, they just laughing. Why
Wow.
is that pissing me off?
Right. Yeah.
So I had to go back to therapy for that. I had to find out why. I had to find out why. Why did that happen to me? Why did I get mad? Why did that trigger me? They're laughing and that triggered me. So
Mm.
sometimes it's just looking at yourself and being aware of what is going on around you. Sometimes you're snapped out of it by something that someone says,
Right.
like
Right.
my son who said, Ma, we're just laughing.
Right.
And
Right.
the realization of them just laughing,
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Right. Like, let me check myself.
I
And
had to check myself before
yeah.
I
Yeah.
go. And
Yes.
that's some truth. That's a true thing.
Yes.
And I went back to therapy, and I had too much on my plate.
Mm.
I had too much going on. I was
Right.
doing too much.
Right.
Every little thing was annoying me. I had to take some things off my plate. I had to really think. And that's when I first started with that boundary. And I had to look at who I was talking to, what they were getting from me,
Right.
and who was neutral in this, who didn't weigh in one way or the other, and then who was given to me,
Mm.
who was pouring into me, who was, whether it was financially, whether it was motivationally, whether it was just somebody that just made me happy or laugh, but who was given to me.
Right.
These
Right.
are people over here that was taken from me and that was doing all of this. They were the dangerous people.
Right.
So I just, you just have to really, it does take a village to raise us adults too.
Yes. Say that.
And so
Say that.
I would say that you need to find the right person to talk to,
Right.
no matter who it is, whether it is someone in faith based, whether it is somebody that is a therapist, whether it is, because I personally, um, I had a wonderful therapist, the one that helped me when my son said, we're just laughing. She was the greatest therapist I had. She moved to Texas. I wish I could find me another her.
Wow.
She moved to Texas, but find somebody that matches you.
Right.
I had a girl that I had to fire because she used to sit there and yawn in my face. And sometimes she had, like, she was excited, like she was ready to eat popcorn. Like I was getting ready to tell her some juicy gossip. And
Right.
I was like, yeah, no,
Wow.
that's not gonna happen. I asked her, was I entertaining?
Wow.
She was a younger girl, and I guess she might not have lived a lot of life. So maybe what I was telling her was juicy or something, but she had nothing to offer me. So I would say, find somebody that has something to offer you for real. Um, I want a male therapist. The next time I get a therapist, I want a male therapist.
Hmm.
Um,
Why a
for,
male?
well, because I find that, first of all, me growing up, I had a slew of male friends. I get along better with men. A lot of the time, women are are catty. But those are not the reasons why I want to be a male. I want a male therapist. I want
Hmm.
a male therapist because I want to view things from a male perspective. I want a male's spin on. I want a male question to my female problem, if that makes
Love
sense.
it. That makes a lot of sense. That
So,
makes a lot.
so that's what I want for me. I want a male question from
Yeah,
a male
yeah,
perspective from my female problem.
yeah.
That's what I want to search for now. I might be all wrong. I might not like it, but guess what? I can
You don't know
change my
until you
mind.
try. Right.
I can change my mind and say I'm going back over there to the little female side. But I've never had one, so I want one.
I like that what you said. Now you got my little mind going because I was actually considering going back to therapy. So when I asked that question and you brought up about your therapist, and I was just like, wow, one of those things of how to be you wake up and you just start small with rebuilding yourself. That was one of the things I want to go back to therapy because that's how I started with starting over. I started with therapy because of my anxiety. I was the only one at the time that had anxiety, and I was just like, well, maybe I just need to start talking about things that I was holding on to with being adopted and having a son at a young age and all of these other life experiences that I was going through, you know, and I was like, maybe I just need to talk about it. But then I experienced losing my dad. So when my dad passed, it was for me watching his death, or watching him, expire, transition. Word is right. I looked at it like, what's the lesson in it? And when it clicked for me, it was, what do you want your footprints to look like? So the first thing I knew that I needed to do, I needed to go back and I needed to start back at the foundation. I needed to go to therapy. And so, first question my therapist asked me at the time, and we talk about having that good therapist. Oh my God, I love my therapist at this time. Um, Black lady, and the first question she asked me is, "Why are you like?" There is that why question, and I used to always run from the why question because sometimes I didn't know, but this time it was, I want to be the best version of myself. Here's where I am, and here's where, it ain't even here's where I want to be. I just want to learn how to be able to get up, tomorrow and start from there and be the best version. And then from there it was, you get your nuggets and all, and all these gems that these the therapists drop. And I started doing the grounding work and I started meditating and I started writing in my journals, and all of these great things. And to your point when you say you still got to have somebody to talk to, and it felt so good to have somebody to talk to who was unbiased, you know, untainted, like don't know you from a can of paint. And you can just pour and pour and pour, you know, um,
You just let
and
go.
just
Let go.
let go. Cause our shoulders are, I say this, our shoulders are only so big. And when you go to therapy and you just start talking, you don't realize how much stuff you are holding on. That subconscious ain't nothing to play with just because it ain't at the forefront of our minds. And that's why sometimes people click because it all it takes is just like you said, the laughter. Your kids was just laughing. For me, um, you made a statement. This just happened a couple of weeks ago when I had to sit back and say, Brittany, but why was that so hard? Why did you look at it as kissing somebody's behind? Like, why did you have to look at it like that instead of just saying, you know what, you're the bigger person. You were, you know what I'm saying? Like, you better than that. Like, this is where they right here, you up there. Okay. You know, however, whatever terminologies everybody used for themselves, but it was just like, I had to do the work. I took that one call I had. I didn't like the experience of it because I couldn't understand why did I look at it this way. So now back to the drawing. Okay, Brittany, why? Why was that so hard? Okay. So I thank God I do have people in my corner that I can call, that can just be that hard conversation, right? Well, why was it so hard? Well, it was so hard because of your pride. I was like, dang, that was a pride moment. Like, I ain't look at it like that. And I had to eat that because that was some real stuff. Now you break it down even more. But why did my pride kick in? Okay, well, I was never taught this. Okay, learning experience. So now when I go back out there in the world, here it is. I'm being the best version of Brittany that you got, than that you had just last week.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So those are so important. When you're talking about starting over, and it has come to our time
Oh
here.
my goodness. No way.
I so
Saying
I
that
love saying that. I love saying that and getting everybody's reaction when I do it. But you are welcome because we have so much to talk about. And it's just so much that you just can't pack into just an hour or so. Um, but before I end, I always like to leave everyone with something encouraging. So I have a question for you. If someone that's listening feels like giving up, um, what's one piece of advice off inspired? And this could be for someone who is going through a divorce or that breakup in a relationship or finding their why. What is that advice you have?
um the advice I would have for you is it's always darkest before dawn. That is the truest thing that is said. It always is darkest before dawn, and don't let go. Don't stop. Just take a breath. Just take a moment. Sometimes you have to sit back and set up for the comeback. Don't worry about some of the trouble. You just have to focus on how you're going to get there. It's not, I can't. It's how can I? Just ask yourself, how can I? Instead of saying I can't. That's what I would say. That I'm going to leave right there.
Hey, drops mic. That's all. That's all that need to be said. That is empowering. I just really enjoyed this conversation. It's just I had so many questions, and yeah, like you were just so welcome. We're so welcome back here in the ladies' lounge, and I can't thank you enough for just stepping out and trusting me to come and have this conversation with me. I know when I put it out there in the TikTok street, like this is an open invitation to everyone, and I don't, now y'all don't get it twisted. I do pray over before I be, that's like you opening your front door and saying everybody can come in, right? The ladies' lounge is sacred to me, and it's not just open to everyone, but the right people have shown up, and I'm so grateful to God of just the beautiful, beautiful souls that come in here and have these conversations because this is what it's about, right? I didn't get this growing up. I grew up where everything was on a hush hush. And, our parents, grandparents wore these capes when they came out their room as they were Superman and Superwoman. And then, they take it off when they go to sleep. They've always showed up a certain way. I love where we are in this world where we're saying it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to start over sometimes, right? You know, there's no such thing as perfect. Nobody got none of this crap figured out, this thing called life. Nobody. And that's the beauty of it. But we all can work together and get through it together. I think once we bring back the humanity and a lot of this thing called life, it will feel so much easier because you don't feel alone. Somebody watching this could be like, dang, girl, you started over too and going through this divorce. You got the grown kids too. Or oh my God, somebody you got anxiety as well. How do you deal with these are conversations that you have and not shy away from it because we got work to do. We got these babies still moving and grooving out here. We still out here, like you said. We we need it just as much as we shine the light on our younger generation. But um, I said all that to say I am truly grateful. This is the part where I try not to get emotional because I love it here in the ladies' lounge, and it is open to you to come back again. Tiffany, it's been a pleasure of getting to know you a lot more now on that level. I'm gonna see you in these TT streets as long as we're there. But I would love to invite you to come back and we finish finish up finish the job strong. And I'm also going to not share my screen this time with y'all. However, I just wanted to remind everyone um, March 7th through the 10th, 2025, we are in Orlando, Florida, y'all. That's what y'all see behind me, the mobile retreat. So I have, I am bringing to life what we talk about here in the Ladies Lounge about building community, networking, supporting each other, learning more about each other. So this weekend is definitely what it's about, right? And I know a lot of people are nervous of what's going to go on in these social media, right? Let's take it back to our roots of building connections in person. We 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 always are circled and brought back to the foundation of things, and that genuinely like what this is about, right? When I was putting it together and I heard people in these TikTok streets like how do we support each other? Let's meet up. Everybody want to meet up. This is the time to do it. We are being shown why we need to build this community, why we need to support each other, learn more about what it is that someone does, as far as their business. And we don't gatekeep. So bring your products, bring QR codes so we could definitely support you and have meaningful conversations in person. We are also going to have a live podcast. We're going to have a panel talk. So if you're interested in being a part of that as well, make sure you connect with me. I can be found on Facebook at Britt Danielle and Instagram at Britt Danielle. And I am definitely in these TikTok streets, as both myself and Tiffany has said. I am under Ladies Lounge, and I'm gonna let Tiff tell you all where you can connect with her as well on social media as well.
Okay, so I am Coach Tiff on TikTok, your favorite selfish bae. Um, and on Instagram, I am the selfish coach. Both pictures are going to be the same. And on Facebook, I am Tiffany Hurd. I haven't gotten around to changing that to Coach Tiff or the Selfish Bay or anything like that. But I'm just plain old Tiffany over there. And I would love to connect with y'all. And this is my first time hearing about this, about the retreat. I'm
Yes,
excited.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I would share my screen and do a whole presentation like I normally do, but I'm so scared with what's been going on before we started.
Yes.
But yes, that is what. So I just took what everybody was saying on TikTok, and this is just a way to bring it to life. And I do believe that this change that's coming is taking us back to our roots. So the mogul retreat is for everybody to come, especially my guests that have been on here, for us to connect in person, have these conversations, network, learn more about each other. Because when we think about it, how was we out here supporting? I'm saying we. I ain't old enough, but well, yeah, no, I'm not. But how were we supporting each other before social media in person?
We was in person.
Was popping their trunks and had, their business in the back of their trunks.
Yep.
So it's time to get back to, and again, it's not a sell pitch because this was created from TikTok. This was created from connecting with people who genuinely want to see this come through. And so we have some amazing people who are excited about being a part of it. So yes, I would love to
Well,
have it there if you
yeah,
can.
email me. I will be a part. Let's see.
Yes, y'all heard it here. Y'all heard Coach Tiff gonna be in the building. I'm so excited. Yes, I'm gonna send you the email. However, um, I don't be wanting to leave y'all here in the ladies' lounge, but definitely make sure you connect with Coach Tiff and myself in these social media streets. Before we close out, I want to wish everybody a safe and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if I don't see you all next week, I would definitely see you all next year. So from the ladies' lounge to your family, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I can't even believe we're saying that. That is